So what should your strategy be? I think a major part of having a good sound strategy is the right mindset behind that. So what does that include? Well, for me, mindset is the most important thing no matter what you want to do. And the reason I say that is because I've seen people, I've gone through the same thing myself. So unless you've got the right mindset, with a can do attitude, it's not, no matter what strategy you had, no matter what vehicle you pick up, you will not be able to achieve your goals, so to speak. So the things like, can I do this? Why do you want to do this? Do you have a big enough why behind what you are actually looking at doing? So what happens if you don't take action? There are things where, can I do this or should I do this? And there are things like, what happens if I don't do this? And then what happens? So you got to answer questions like these. And a lot of people that I come across have got all these kind of excuses. I don't have money to invest. Well, can you become, if you don't have money to invest, can you become that person who can do no money down deals? Can you spend time reading the books? Can you take courses? Can you learn and invest in your mind? Are you willing to become that person? If you don't have the money, doesn't matter, but there's nothing that's stopping you from becoming that person that can put these deals together and who invest in their mind. So having an excuse that I haven't got the money is actually a lame excuse, because nobody has enough money. And none of the people that I've come across who really made it big, they never started with a lot of money in their bank account. They all started with almost nothing. So do what you can with what you have and never be satisfied. Have money versus no money. It's actually, having no money is a greater motivator for you to do more and achieve more and strive to have better. So, and if you have a lot of money, then people get lazy. See, property development is something that's not just close to people who haven't got money. It offers and lends itself to anybody, because if you know the strategies, if you know the knowledge, if you have the knowledge, if you understand how the strategies work, what the processes are, and you are sharp in those things, you can put deals together. I get these stories from all these people saying, my uncle said he lost a lot of money in a deal, so I can't do a deal. Property development is not something I should be in. Well, then find something that you think is for you. You got to find something that resonates with you. Now, property development is something that you can go 100% with full force behind it and do property development as a full-time thing, and it is something that you can use to generate wealth. And most of the people are in that situation where they've got a full-time job and all they want to do is generate wealth on the side, or create or execute strategies so that they get some cash flow at the end of the day. And property development makes all these things possible. So let's look at some of the strategies that are available to you. Now, you can own a business to supplement your income. You can own a business. Now, I don't specialize in giving you business advice, so I'm going to stick with property. And even in property, I'm going to stick with property development. There are different strategies like student accommodation, land subdivision, renovations. A lot of people do renovations. I've personally never been able to understand renovations because I'm a numbers guy. And with renovations, I think the biggest drawback that I've found is that I can never accurately, or even within a 5% grace margin, pinpoint that if I spend 50,000 on this old property to make it look better, what is the uplift going to be? So there's no such data available where five people where people did renovations and spent $30,000 and had an uplift of $60,000. It's very speculative as far as I'm concerned, as a strategy, and that's why I tend to stay away from renovations. Another reason I don't do renovations is because I'm not a hands-on guy. I moisturize my hands 10 times a day. So if you want to talk about numbers, and putting bigger strategies and executing bigger strategies, yes, I can do that. But if you want me to pick up a paintbrush, I would never be able to do that because I'm not that kind of person. So that's my shortcoming. But I've got other strengths that I work off. So you had to identify what are your strengths and then go after them. Mining towns is a big speculation. For me, it's very similar to going to a casino and gamble my money there. For a very short term, a lot of people enjoyed a lot of cash flow from their investments in mining towns. But now, if you look at that, I don't think that there's any person who's invested in mining town that I know of, and I know a lot of investors in WA, in Queensland, who've actually put money into mining towns, and they're saying that they're happy, or everything is fine now. They're all, they're all literally crying because they can't. Their properties are not even worth as much as they paid for them. So I stick to property development as a strategy for myself. So whatever I have to do, I have to develop, I have to get the plans, permits, add value via property development. And I can retain some, I can sell some, I can have some cash flow. It just depends upon my situation at the time. Your strategy will also depend upon your goals or outcomes that you are expecting. For example, if you're looking for cash flow, you could, in terms of property development, you could develop, you could hold it, and you could hold your positive properties. Why? Because at the end of the development, instead of drawing out all your cash, you actually leave the profit that you've got in there, you take out your equity, and you can still end up with the property that's either neutral or positive. So you basically, or if you want it to be positive and you've got only X amount of money, instead of going and buying a property off of the retail market, it is better for you to actually manufacture the growth and go through the development process and then leave the money in there as your equity and leave your profit in there. And then you have a cash flow positive property that'll keep giving you cash flow month after month. And not only that, because I always in module 2 and module 3 in my how to find your next deal and your due diligence module, I've always discussed that I'll stick close to activity centers and schools and transports and shopping malls and all that, and for that reason your property will keep going up in capital value, keep enjoying that capital growth on top of that. So that's what you got to do. Understand what are your goals and what do you eventually want to achieve. If your goal is to achieve long-term wealth generation, then holding property in the right area and enjoy capital growth is a strategy that you can pursue. Or if you just want, if your need of the hour is to get some cash in, so you get in, get out with a bucket full of money, and you develop it and you sell it. However, remember, the moment you sell it, there's GST, there's capital gains tax, and there's all sorts of taxes that they are there. So you have to find a balance between, you will not be able to hold all of them because everyone's got X amount of money and they've got to make sure that the money keeps working for them. And you will not be able to, if you are in this for a long time, you will not be able to just develop, sell, because that would again cause you to pay a lot of tax, and it might not suit your strategy.